Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we are diving into The DNA of Success by Jack Zufelt, a book that uncovers the underlying principles of achieving true success. Unlike conventional self-help books that focus on motivation and surface-level strategies, this book reveals the core mechanism that drives lasting achievement. It challenges common misconceptions and introduces a powerful concept that explains why some people achieve their dreams effortlessly while others struggle despite their best efforts. Jack Zufelt presents a radical departure from traditional goal-setting theories, emphasizing that the real cause of success is not willpower, discipline, or positive thinking. Instead, it lies in what he calls core desires. These deeply ingrained aspirations, when properly identified and harnessed, become the unstoppable force that propels individuals towards success. Zufelt argues that every person has an inherent ability to achieve greatness, but most fail because they focus on the wrong aspects of self-improvement. The key is not in adopting new habits, but in understanding and activating the natural drive already present within us. The book begins by dismantling the traditional self-improvement industry's approach. Many people chase success by following preset formulas, such as setting SMART goals, practicing affirmations, or following daily productivity routines. However, Zufelt asserts that these strategies often fail because they do not address the core of what truly drives a person. He explains that motivation, when externally imposed, is temporary and fades over time. True success comes from within, and the only way to unlock it is to identify the desires that resonate deeply on a personal level. He introduces the idea that people do not need to be fixed or transformed into someone they are not. The potential for success is already embedded in them, just like DNA carries the blueprint for physical traits. The problem is that most individuals suppress their true desires due to societal conditioning, fear, or past failures. Zufelt helps readers identify and tap into these desires by providing a structured way of recognizing them. A key argument he makes is that people naturally achieve things when they have a strong internal drive. When someone truly wants something at their core, they will find a way to get it, regardless of obstacles. This is different from wishful thinking or vague aspirations. Core desires are so powerful that they override doubt, fear, and hesitation. They are not forced upon a person, instead, they emerge naturally when someone connects with what they truly want. The first step in Zufelt's approach is self-discovery. He challenges readers to strip away external influences and focus on what genuinely excites and drives them. Many people pursue goals based on what they think they should want rather than what they actually desire. This leads to frustration and lack of progress. By identifying core desires, individuals can shift their focus to actions that align with their inner drive, making success feel effortless rather than forced. This approach also changes the way people view obstacles. When working toward a goal that does not align with a true core desire, setbacks feel discouraging and overwhelming. However, when someone is driven by a core desire, challenges become minor hurdles rather than insurmountable barriers. The energy and determination to push through difficulties come naturally because the goal is deeply meaningful. Another critical point Zufelt makes is that success is not about accumulating external achievements for validation. Many people pursue success based on societal standards, seeking wealth, status, or approval from others. However, he argues that true fulfillment comes from aligning one's life with what genuinely matters on a personal level. People who follow their core desires experience a profound sense of purpose and satisfaction, regardless of how their success appears to others. This concept is powerful because it removes the pressure to conform to conventional success models. It allows individuals to define their own path, free from the expectations of others. Zufelt reassures readers that they do not need to force themselves into a rigid structure of discipline and habits to be successful. Instead, when they unlock their core desires, they will naturally take the necessary steps to achieve their goals. The idea of core desires also challenges the belief that success requires intense effort and sacrifice. Zufelt explains that when people act in alignment with their true desires, their actions feel effortless and enjoyable. This does not mean there are no challenges, but rather that the drive to overcome them comes naturally. People who are truly passionate about something do not need motivation to keep going, they are compelled to act because their desire is strong enough. He also highlights the importance of recognizing that core desires are unique to each person. What drives one individual may not inspire another. Many people struggle because they adopt goals based on what they see others achieving, rather than focusing on what truly resonates with them. Zufelt urges readers to dig deep and identify what excites them personally, rather than following generic success formulas. This realization leads to a fundamental shift in mindset. Instead of feeling pressure to adopt new habits or force themselves into strict routines, individuals can focus on aligning their lives with their genuine desires. This removes the struggle often associated with personal development and replaces it with a natural flow towards success. Building on the foundation of core desires, Jack Zufelt delves deeper into how individuals can identify and activate these desires to unlock their true potential. He emphasizes that the key to success is not about learning new strategies or forcing oneself into rigid routines, but rather about aligning actions with what naturally drives a person from within. One of the most important aspects of this process is self-honesty. Many people struggle with identifying their core desires because they have spent years conforming to external expectations. Society, family, and cultural norms often dictate what people should want, leading them to chase goals that do not truly resonate with them. Zufelt urges readers to strip away these external influences and ask themselves a critical question: what do I truly want, without any regard for what others think? To help with this, he provides a method for uncovering core desires. He advises individuals to reflect on moments in their lives when they felt the most fulfilled and excited. These moments, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, provide clues about what truly drives a person. By analyzing these experiences, one can begin to see patterns and common themes that reveal their core desires. Zufelt also points out that core desires are not necessarily tied to material success. While some may feel driven to achieve wealth, others may find their deepest satisfaction in relationships, creativity, or personal growth. The key is to recognize that success is subjective. What matters most is aligning with what brings genuine fulfillment rather than chasing socially defined achievements. Once core desires are identified, the next step is to align daily actions with them. Zufelt explains that many people fail to achieve success because they focus on the wrong things. They waste time on activities that do not contribute to their true goals, leading to frustration and stagnation. By shifting their focus to actions that directly support their core desires, individuals create a powerful momentum that drives them towards success effortlessly. He introduces a powerful analogy to illustrate this concept. Imagine two people attempting to push a heavy boulder up a hill. One person is pushing with all their strength, but is struggling because the boulder is not aligned with their natural path. The other person, however, is pushing in a direction that aligns with their core desires, making the task feel much easier. This is the difference between forcing oneself to follow traditional success formulas and allowing core desires to naturally guide actions. A critical component of this approach is eliminating distractions and non-essential goals. Many people spread themselves too thin, trying to achieve multiple goals at once. Zufelt warns against this scattered approach, emphasizing that true success comes from focusing intensely on what matters most. He encourages individuals to identify what is truly important and cut out everything that does not serve their core desires. Another key principle Zufelt discusses is the power of commitment. He explains that once a person identifies their core desires, they must commit fully to pursuing them. This means removing doubts, excuses, and any hesitation that might hold them back. Commitment is what transforms a desire into reality. When someone is fully committed to their core desires, they naturally take action without needing external motivation. Zufelt also explores the idea that success is not about luck or talent, but about alignment. He argues that people who seem naturally successful are not necessarily more talented or fortunate than others, they have simply aligned themselves with their core desires. This alignment creates an unstoppable force that propels them forward, making their achievements appear effortless. A crucial step in this journey is overcoming fear and doubt. Many people hold themselves back because they fear failure, rejection, or the unknown. Zufelt reassures readers that fear is a natural response but should never be a reason to abandon their core desires. He encourages individuals to push past their fears by focusing on the deep, intrinsic motivation that comes from pursuing something they truly want. Another barrier to success that Zufelt addresses is negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. He explains that many people fail because they carry subconscious beliefs that tell them they are not capable, worthy, or deserving of success. These beliefs often stem from childhood experiences, societal conditioning, or past failures. However, once individuals recognize and challenge these beliefs, they can replace them with a mindset that supports their core desires. He introduces a technique for reprogramming the mind to support success. Instead of forcing oneself to think positively, Zufelt recommends consistently reaffirming one's core desires. By repeatedly focusing on what truly matters, individuals naturally develop a success-oriented mindset. This is different from traditional affirmations, which often feel artificial and ineffective. When people are deeply connected to their core desires, their thoughts naturally align with their goals without needing forced positivity. One of the most liberating insights Zufelt shares is that people do not need permission to pursue their dreams. Many individuals wait for validation from others before taking action, fearing judgment or criticism. However, he emphasizes that the only validation needed comes from within. When someone is driven by a core desire, external approval becomes irrelevant. The desire itself is enough to justify taking action. This shift in perspective is incredibly powerful. Instead of seeking approval or fearing judgment, individuals who embrace their core desires become confident and self-assured. They stop worrying about what others think and focus entirely on what brings them fulfillment. This is the true essence of success, not achieving external milestones but living a life that aligns with what truly matters on a personal level. Zufelt also highlights that success is a journey, not a destination. Many people make the mistake of believing that happiness and fulfillment will come once they reach a specific goal. However, he explains that true satisfaction comes from the process of pursuing core desires, not just the end result. When individuals are engaged in meaningful pursuits, every step of the journey feels rewarding. To reinforce this, he encourages readers to celebrate progress instead of waiting for final outcomes. Many people delay their happiness, believing they can only feel successful once they achieve a big milestone. However, Zufelt argues that every small step taken in alignment with core desires is a victory. By acknowledging and appreciating these small wins, individuals stay motivated and maintain momentum toward their ultimate goals. At this stage, the reader begins to see a clear path forward. Success is no longer a vague or overwhelming concept. It is simply a matter of identifying core desires, aligning actions with them, eliminating distractions, and fully committing to the journey. Zufelt's approach makes success feel natural and effortless rather than a constant struggle. His philosophy is a powerful reminder that everyone already possesses the blueprint for success within them. The challenge is not about acquiring new skills or adopting rigid habits, it is about uncovering what truly drives them and taking action in alignment with those desires. With a clear understanding of core desires and their role in success, Jack Zufelt expands on how to harness these desires into concrete actions. He emphasizes that knowledge alone is not enough, it must be paired with execution. Many people read about success, set goals, and make plans, but without action, nothing changes. Zufelt stresses that those who take consistent, purposeful action in alignment with their core desires will inevitably succeed. One of the first steps in this process is removing mental roadblocks. Many individuals struggle with self-doubt, procrastination, or fear of failure. Zufelt explains that these obstacles are not real barriers, but rather illusions created by the mind. People often hesitate to take action because they feel unprepared or fear making mistakes. However, he argues that waiting for the perfect time is an excuse. The perfect time never comes, success begins the moment action is taken. To break through these mental barriers, Zufelt introduces the concept of mental reprogramming. He explains that the subconscious mind plays a crucial role in shaping a person's success. Many people unknowingly hold on to limiting beliefs that keep them from achieving their full potential. These beliefs, often formed in childhood or from past experiences, create an invisible ceiling that prevents progress. To counteract this, he suggests a practice of conscious thought redirection. This means becoming aware of negative thoughts and deliberately replacing them with thoughts that align with one's core desires. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never succeed," one should reaffirm their ability to achieve their goals. Over time, this shift in thinking rewires the brain, making success-oriented thoughts the default. Another critical aspect of action-taking is the principle of momentum. Zufelt explains that starting is often the hardest part, but once movement begins, progress becomes easier. He compares it to pushing a stalled car. At first, it requires significant effort, but once it starts rolling, it takes much less energy to keep it moving. This is why he encourages individuals to take small, immediate actions toward their core desires. Even if the step seems insignificant, it creates forward motion. The key is to avoid getting stuck in overthinking. Many people spend too much time planning and analyzing instead of acting. Zufelt warns against this paralysis by analysis, emphasizing that clarity comes through action, not endless contemplation. Another essential principle he discusses is the law of cause and effect. Zufelt explains that success is not random, it follows predictable patterns. Every action has a consequence, and consistent, intentional actions inevitably lead to results. Those who achieve great success are simply those who consistently take the right actions. This means that failure is not a reason to stop, it is merely feedback. Zufelt encourages individuals to view failures as learning opportunities rather than setbacks. He reminds readers that every successful person has encountered obstacles, but what sets them apart is their ability to adapt and keep moving forward. A powerful technique he introduces is the practice of visualization. Many people underestimate the power of the mind in shaping reality. Zufelt explains that the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. By visualizing success in detail, how it feels, looks, and sounds, the brain begins to accept it as achievable. This mental conditioning makes taking action feel more natural. However, he cautions against using visualization as a substitute for action. While imagining success can be motivating, it must be followed by tangible steps. Too many people fall into the trap of daydreaming without execution. Zufelt insists that the combination of visualization and immediate action is what leads to true results. He also introduces the idea of surrounding oneself with the right influences. Many people struggle to achieve success because they are surrounded by negativity, doubt, or unsupportive environments. Zufelt stresses the importance of carefully selecting the people one spends time with. Being around individuals who encourage growth and success creates a reinforcing cycle of motivation. Likewise, he warns against toxic influences. People who constantly express doubt, negativity, or discouragement can drain motivation. Zufelt advises making a conscious effort to limit exposure to such individuals and instead seek out those who uplift and inspire. Another crucial step in turning core desires into reality is mastering the art of persistence. Zufelt highlights that most people give up too soon. Success rarely happens overnight, it requires sustained effort. He encourages individuals to develop resilience by expecting challenges and committing to pushing through them. One of the biggest mistakes people make is allowing temporary setbacks to derail long-term goals. Zufelt explains that obstacles are a natural part of the journey. Instead of seeing them as failures, they should be viewed as tests of commitment. He urges readers to remind themselves of their core desires whenever they feel like quitting. A useful strategy he recommends is tracking progress. Many people become discouraged because they do not see immediate results. However, success is often a series of small wins that accumulate over time. By keeping track of progress, whether through journaling, habit tracking, or milestone reviews, individuals can see how far they have come. This reinforces motivation and strengthens commitment. Zufelt also discusses the importance of flexibility in approach. While core desires remain constant, the path to achieving them may change. Some people become rigid in their strategies, refusing to adapt when things are not working. He emphasizes that success requires adaptability. If a certain approach is not yielding results, it is better to pivot and try a new method rather than giving up entirely. Another powerful insight he shares is that success should not feel like a struggle. He explains that when someone is truly aligned with their core desires, effort feels natural rather than forced. Those who feel constant resistance in their journey may be pursuing goals that are not truly their own. To reinforce this, he introduces the idea of effortless success. This does not mean success comes without work, but rather that when one's actions align with deep desires, work becomes enjoyable and fulfilling. Zufelt encourages individuals to pay attention to how they feel when pursuing their goals. If it constantly feels like an uphill battle, they may need to reassess whether they are truly following their core desires. As he moves toward the deeper applications of his philosophy, Zufelt reiterates that success is not about external validation or material gain. While these may be natural byproducts, the true measure of success is internal fulfillment. He challenges readers to ask themselves whether they are genuinely happy with their current pursuits. If the answer is no, it may be time to realign with their core desires. He closes this section by emphasizing that success is a choice. Every person has the ability to shape their own destiny. Those who take responsibility for their lives, align with their core desires, and take consistent action will inevitably achieve their version of success. Jack Zufelt delves deeper into how individuals can accelerate their success by mastering the power of focus. He explains that most people fail not because they lack intelligence or resources, but because they are distracted. In today's world, distractions are everywhere: social media, endless entertainment, and the opinions of others constantly pull people away from their true desires. Zufelt stresses that success requires intense focus, and those who can train their minds to block out distractions will achieve their goals much faster. To illustrate this, he introduces the concept of selective attention. He explains that the human brain can only process a limited amount of information at any given moment. If someone constantly entertains doubts, worries, or unnecessary thoughts, they leave little room for productive action. On the other hand, individuals who deliberately focus on their core desires channel all their mental energy towards success. Zufelt encourages readers to audit their daily habits and eliminate activities that do not contribute to their goals. A key principle he discusses is the power of saying no. Many people struggle with distractions because they are afraid to set boundaries. They say yes to commitments, relationships, and activities that do not serve their core desires. Zufelt emphasizes that success requires the courage to say no to anything that does not align with one's ultimate vision. He urges individuals to practice this skill by assessing every decision and asking, "Does this move me closer to my core desires?" If the answer is no, then it should be eliminated. Another major theme he explores is the myth of willpower. Many people believe that success is about having extraordinary willpower. However, Zufelt argues that willpower alone is unreliable. Motivation fluctuates, and depending on willpower alone often leads to burnout. Instead, he recommends structuring one's environment to make success inevitable. For example, if someone wants to develop a new skill, they should surround themselves with people who have already mastered it, immerse themselves in relevant books and materials, and create a routine that forces consistent practice. By designing an environment that naturally reinforces success, the need for willpower decreases. Zufelt calls this the success environment formula. He then shifts to discussing the compound effect of habits. Zufelt explains that small, consistent actions, when aligned with core desires, lead to massive results over time. He warns that many people underestimate the impact of their daily choices because they seem insignificant in the moment. However, repeated daily actions determine long-term outcomes. He encourages readers to adopt success habits by making small but meaningful improvements every day. To help individuals develop these habits, he introduces the habit alignment strategy. This involves identifying the daily behaviors that directly contribute to one's core desires and prioritizing them above everything else. Whether it's exercising, reading, networking, or practicing a skill, Zufelt urges individuals to make these actions non-negotiable. He emphasizes that true transformation comes from consistency, not occasional bursts of effort. Another critical lesson he shares is the importance of self-discipline. Many people believe discipline means forcing oneself to do things they dislike. However, Zufelt redefines discipline as loving yourself enough to do what is best for you. He explains that when people view discipline as a form of self-respect rather than punishment, it becomes easier to stay consistent. He then discusses the role of accountability. Zufelt explains that success accelerates when individuals have external accountability. He encourages readers to find mentors, coaches, or partners who will hold them responsible for their commitments. Having someone to answer to increases follow-through and reduces the likelihood of quitting. To further drive home this point, he introduces the public commitment technique. When individuals declare their goals publicly, whether to friends, family, or on social media, they create an added layer of accountability. People are more likely to follow through when they know others are watching. Zufelt encourages readers to use this strategy as a tool to reinforce their commitment. As he continues, Zufelt discusses overcoming fear and doubt. Many people hesitate to pursue their core desires because they are afraid of failure, judgment, or rejection. He explains that fear is a natural response but should never dictate one's actions. He provides a simple yet powerful strategy for overcoming fear. Acknowledge it, recognizing that fear exists is the first step. Avoiding it only strengthens its grip. Analyze the worst-case scenario. Most fears are exaggerated. When people objectively assess the worst possible outcome, they often realize it is not as bad as they imagined. Take action anyway. The only way to diminish fear is to confront it. Taking action despite fear builds confidence and weakens its power. Zufelt emphasizes that courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting in spite of it. He urges readers to develop a mindset of resilience by continually pushing past their comfort zones. Next, he explores the energy management principle. Many people focus on time management, but Zufelt argues that managing energy is even more important. He explains that productivity is not just about working longer hours, but about maintaining high levels of energy. He provides several key practices for sustaining energy. Prioritize health. A strong body leads to a strong mind. Eating nutritious food, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep all contribute to higher energy levels. Avoid mental drain. Negative environments, toxic relationships, and excessive consumption of news or social media can drain energy. Zufelt advises individuals to protect their mental space. Do what you love. Engaging in activities aligned with core desires naturally boosts energy, while forcing oneself to do things out of obligation drains it. A particularly powerful concept he introduces is the emotional anchoring technique. Zufelt explains that emotions drive behavior more than logic. People are more likely to take action when they feel emotionally connected to their goals. He suggests using positive emotions, such as excitement, pride, and gratitude, as fuel for action. This can be achieved through visualization, affirmations, or surrounding oneself with reminders of past successes. As he moves toward the deeper layers of success psychology, Zufelt revisits the power of purpose. He explains that those who succeed at the highest levels are not just driven by material success, but by a deep sense of purpose. He urges readers to reflect on the bigger impact they want to make in the world. When success is tied to a meaningful purpose, motivation becomes limitless. Finally, he discusses the ultimate success mindset. Zufelt challenges individuals to stop seeing success as an external achievement and instead view it as an internal state. He explains that true success is about living in alignment with one's core desires every day, regardless of external circumstances. He closes this section by emphasizing that success is not something to chase, it is something to embody. Those who develop the right mindset, habits, and focus naturally attract success into their lives. Jack Zufelt continues by reinforcing the idea that true success is not a mystery but a formula that anyone can follow. He shifts the focus toward the power of belief and how an individual's self-concept dictates their results. He explains that people do not achieve what they want, they achieve what they believe they deserve. If someone subconsciously believes they are unworthy of success, they will self-sabotage, even if they have the right strategies and opportunities. Zufelt emphasizes the importance of rewriting limiting beliefs. He explains that many of the beliefs people hold about themselves were formed during childhood, influenced by parents, teachers, and society. Unfortunately, many of these beliefs are negative and restrictive. Statements like "I'm not good enough," "I'm not smart enough," or "I'll never be successful" become embedded in the subconscious mind, creating invisible barriers to achievement. To break free from these limitations, Zufelt introduces the belief reprogramming process. Identify limiting beliefs. He urges readers to write down the negative thoughts that surface when they think about their core desires. Challenge their validity. Most limiting beliefs are not based on facts, but on past experiences and external conditioning. He advises questioning their truthfulness. Replace them with empowering beliefs. He encourages individuals to create new, positive affirmations that reinforce their potential and repeat them daily. Take action to reinforce the new beliefs. Confidence is built through action. By continuously stepping outside of comfort zones, new beliefs become ingrained. Zufelt stresses that belief is the foundation of all success. He explains that individuals who achieve at the highest levels have unwavering certainty that they will succeed, and that certainty propels them forward despite challenges. He then transitions into the role of visualization. Zufelt explains that the brain does not distinguish between reality and vivid imagination. Athletes, entrepreneurs, and high achievers use visualization to create a mental blueprint of their success before it happens. He introduces the success visualization technique. Create a clear mental image. He advises picturing success in extreme detail, engaging all senses. Feel the emotion. The stronger the emotional connection, the more powerful the visualization. Repeat daily. Consistency strengthens neural pathways, making success feel inevitable. He then discusses the science of affirmations. Zufelt explains that the subconscious mind responds to repetition. When individuals repeatedly affirm their capabilities, their minds begin to accept these statements as truth. However, he warns that affirmations alone are not enough, they must be backed by aligned action. Moving forward, he explores the law of association. Zufelt emphasizes that success is heavily influenced by the people one surrounds themselves with. He explains that individuals unconsciously adopt the habits, beliefs, and attitudes of those they spend the most time with. If someone is surrounded by negative or unmotivated people, their progress will be hindered. To counter this, he introduces the success circle strategy. Audit current relationships, identify whether close connections are uplifting or limiting. Seek out mentors and role models. He advises learning from those who have already achieved similar goals. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Engaging with ambitious and driven individuals creates an environment of growth. Minimize negative influences. Distance from individuals who drain energy or discourage progress. Zufelt explains that this strategy creates a powerful success environment, where progress becomes natural instead of forced. Next, he discusses the momentum effect. Many people struggle with consistency because they expect instant results. Zufelt warns that success follows a nonlinear path, it builds gradually before reaching a tipping point. He explains that initial progress may feel slow, but persistence leads to exponential growth. To illustrate this, he introduces the 3 phases of momentum. The struggle phase, this is where most people quit. Initial efforts feel unproductive, and doubts arise. The acceleration phase, small wins start to accumulate, and confidence grows. The breakthrough phase, success becomes effortless as habits and systems reinforce themselves. He advises individuals to trust the process and stay committed long enough to reach the breakthrough phase. Another critical lesson he shares is how to handle failure. Many people fear failure and avoid risks because of it. Zufelt explains that failure is not the opposite of success, it is a necessary part of the journey. He introduces the failure reframing method. See failure as feedback. Instead of viewing failure as a dead end, recognize it as valuable information. Analyze and adjust, identify what went wrong, make necessary changes, and try again. Detach from ego, avoid personalizing failure. It is a learning experience, not a reflection of worth. He stresses that every successful individual has experienced failure but used it as a stepping stone rather than a stopping point. Zufelt then dives into the principle of unwavering commitment. He explains that many people approach their goals with a mindset of "I'll try." However, true success requires full commitment. He advises eliminating backup plans, as they create an escape route that weakens resolve. Instead, he encourages the burn the boats mentality, a mindset where success becomes the only option. He provides a powerful strategy called the commitment contract. Write down a declaration of commitment, clearly define the goal and make a firm promise to achieve it. Make it public, share the commitment with a trusted mentor or support group for accountability. Attach consequences, create personal consequences for quitting to reinforce determination. He explains that this level of commitment separates those who achieve from those who merely dream. Finally, Zufelt discusses the ultimate key to success: relentless action. He emphasizes that knowledge alone does not create results, action does. He warns against paralysis by analysis, where people overthink and delay taking action. He provides the 5-second rule for action. Whenever an idea or opportunity arises, take action within 5 seconds, whether it's making a call, sending an email, or taking a small step forward. He stresses that immediate action prevents hesitation and builds unstoppable momentum. Zufelt concludes this section by reinforcing that success is not about luck, intelligence, or talent, it is about aligning with core desires, developing the right habits, and taking relentless action. Jack Zufelt now shifts his focus toward the principle of internal drive and why some individuals achieve their goals while others struggle despite having similar opportunities. He argues that success is not about willpower, motivation, or intelligence, it is about aligning with what he calls the conquering force. The conquering force. Zufelt explains that the conquering force is the internal drive that pushes individuals toward their core desires. Unlike motivation, which is temporary, or discipline, which requires conscious effort, the conquering force is an unstoppable energy that makes success feel natural rather than forced. He explains that everyone has the conquering force within them, but many people fail to activate it because they chase artificial goals instead of genuine core desires. He gives the example of people who struggle with motivation when trying to lose weight, build a business, or improve finances. The reason they struggle is not that they lack drive, it is that they are pursuing something that does not deeply resonate with them. To fully activate the conquering force, he provides a strategy called the authenticity alignment process. Clarify true desires, ensure that goals are aligned with personal passions, not external expectations. Eliminate half-hearted goals. If a goal does not spark strong emotional energy, it should be discarded. Focus on what feels right. The best goals create a natural sense of excitement and urgency. Zufelt explains that once a person aligns with their true core desires, the conquering force is unleashed, and they will no longer need motivation or external pressure. The secret to unstoppable persistence. One of the biggest reasons people fail, according to Zufelt, is that they give up too soon. He explains that the conquering force allows individuals to persist beyond the point where most people quit. To reinforce this, he introduces the success endurance formula. Develop emotional connection. Goals that lack emotional significance are abandoned when obstacles arise. Eliminate doubt. Indecision weakens persistence. He advises making firm, irreversible commitments. Adopt a long-term mindset. He warns against expecting overnight success and instead encourages patience. Use adversity as fuel. Instead of viewing struggles as barriers, use them as stepping stones. Zufelt emphasizes that success is often just beyond the point where most people give up. Those who push through will achieve what others fail to attain. The law of instant transformation. Zufelt then introduces a counterintuitive principle: success does not have to take years, it can happen instantly. He explains that while results take time, transformation happens the moment an individual changes their mindset. He describes the 3 levels of transformation. Mental shift, changing the way one thinks about success. Behavioral shift, aligning daily actions with success habits. Identity shift, becoming the type of person who naturally attracts success. He argues that as soon as a person fully commits, their reality starts shifting immediately. Opportunities begin appearing, resources become available, and momentum takes over. The key is to stop waiting for external conditions to change and instead make an internal decision. The power of absolute certainty. One of the final principles Zufelt shares is the power of absolute certainty. He explains that successful individuals do not hope or wish for success, they know it is inevitable. This deep certainty creates a magnetic effect, drawing opportunities, resources, and support. To develop this level of certainty, he introduces the success conviction technique. Visualize the end result as already achieved. Instead of seeing success as a possibility, see it as a reality. Act as if success is guaranteed, make decisions from the mindset of a successful person. Eliminate backup plans. Backup plans create hesitation and weaken commitment. Surround yourself with certainty, avoid doubters and negative influences. Zufelt concludes by reinforcing that those who cultivate unwavering certainty will naturally attract success, and the only thing standing in the way is doubt. He leaves the reader with a final challenge: stop waiting, stop doubting, and take full control of your success today.